ranch was filled with trophies collected over generations. It was her dream that my sister Nora and I follow in her footsteps. We both learned to ride horses as soon as we could walk. But Nora was 2 years older and got a head start in life. And well, I could never seem to catch up. She always had straight A's in school. She was naturally athletic. And with her auburn hair and blue eyes, she was beautiful. Even though Mom loved us both, it wasn't hard to guess who her favorite child was. When I was in the 3rd grade, Mom threw a big birthday party for me and invited all our relatives. But everyone's focus the whole time was on freaking Nora. Such a pretty girl. You already look like a celebrity, darling. I'd been so excited about my new dress, but now I was just feeling angrier by the second. It's like I was invisible with Nora in the same room. Suddenly, I let out an ear-splitting scream and fell to the ground. Oh my God, I'm in so much pain. My tummy hurts so bad. Everyone came running to me and Mom rushed me to the hospital. I was happy I'd ruined the party for everyone, and they would have all just left. But hours later, we got back home to find a mess. I'm so sad you missed your party, Bella, but I made sure the guests had a good time, and I thanked everyone for your presents. I'm glad you're feeling better now. All I could feel was an urge to slap Nora. She just had my birthday without me. As we grew older, I slipped more into the background. I loved horses and could ride well, but it was obvious who the star in the family was. By the time she was 13, Nora had started participating in competitions and was super popular in school. And I'd grown into an awkward kid who was into sci-fi novels and mostly preferred to eat lunch alone in the gym. Once when I was in 7th grade, I was reading under a tree on our ranch when I heard a noise above me. Suddenly, a boy fell down, and I managed to miss him by an inch. Gosh, you nearly killed me. Who are you and where'd you come from? Fell down straight from heaven. I'm gonna punch you in your face if you don't tell me. Okay. I'm Jeremy and I just moved in next door. I did something to my stepfather and he's really mad, so I'm hiding from him. What did you do? I may have given some important papers to our dog and he may have ripped them up. But trust me, my stepdad deserves it. He's not a nice guy. Come on, I'll show you a better hiding place. You can hide anytime you want. I helped him up to his feet, but he yelled out in pain. It seemed like he twisted his ankle. Just then, Nora came galloping on her horse, and Jeremy looked awestruck. Whoa, who is that goddess? Ow! You're trying to break my other ankle too? Oops, sorry. It was an accident. Nora stopped by to ask who he was, and I explained. You obviously can't walk. Hop on, I'll give you a ride. The two of them rode away, and he looked like a princess who'd been rescued by a knight. Why did Nora have to be such a freaking hero? And Jeremy and Nora became best friends after that day. He was also in her class at school, and soon the two were inseparable, which meant that he was always at our place. And over time, I couldn't help having a crush on him. He was smart and funny, and we had so much in common. And he loved science fiction too, and we could talk about it for hours, if Nora would let us. One day, Nora showed me an expensive bracelet. Isn't it beautiful? Jeremy gave it to me yesterday. You mean on Valentine's Day? Yeah, but just as a friend, of course. Nora, are you dumb? It's so obvious Jeremy's in love with you. What? No, he's not. You wouldn't know because you don't have any guy friends. Or any friends, actually. And you are so self-absorbed. You're completely blind to everyone's feelings. You're giving him the wrong idea by accepting that present. You don't know what you're talking about, geek, so stay out of it. I knew I was right, but there wasn't much I could do. Soon after in 8th grade, I was so excited when I found out about a huge sci-fi convention happening in town. But as I was telling Jeremy about it, Nora spoke up and said they'd already bought the tickets. Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait. I meant I just got the tickets for me and Jeremy. We're going with our friends. So I can buy my own and come with you guys, right? I can't go alone, it's too far. No, you can't come with us. Why don't you have friends of your own, Bella? Come on, Nora, what's the big deal? I'm not gonna be the only loser with my baby sister tagging along, Jeremy. We're not taking her. You don't even like sci-fi. Why are you being a witch? Jeremy, please take me along. I'm sorry, Bella. Maybe next time? I couldn't believe he was being such a coward, and my heart
I love hotels. I love checking in. I love the whole process.
Burned when I saw them leaving for the convention a few days later. I just wanted to hurt Nora. And I had a brilliant idea for something I could do. A week later, I was having breakfast when I heard Nora scream. She came running downstairs and waved a calendar at Mom. "How could you mess up my schedule, Mom? I had a match this morning and I missed it." "What are you talking about?" "I woke up to see 20 missed calls from my coach, and he just told me that the first match of the tournament was today. But you've written it here that it's next week." "That's because I got a call from the organizers saying it was postponed. I don't understand. How could this have happened?" "Bella, did you have something to do with this?" "I don't know what you're talking about." "Why don't I believe you?" "Oh, wait. Yes, I remember something now. Maybe I did pretend to be one of the organizers and called up Mom to tell her the wrong date. It doesn't feel good to miss out on something important, does it?" The two stared at me in shock, and then Nora pounced on me. "You horrible brat! How could you do this? You made me miss the convention. Who cares about that stupid thing? I'm disqualified for the whole season now." "I cared. You shouldn't have been so awful to me." "I hate you, Bella. I won't forgive you. Ever." Mom managed to pull Nora away, and she stormed off crying, and I was grounded for a month. For the next few days, Nora acted like I didn't exist. I hadn't realized she'd be disqualified for the entire season. Maybe I'd gone too far. I decided to apologize, but I found out that she'd left for a training camp for 2 weeks. But just 3 days later, we got some bad news. Nora had been in a riding accident. Mom immediately rushed off to camp, and when she returned with Nora, I was shocked to see her on a wheelchair. "What happened?" "I don't want to talk to anyone, least of all you." Nora had badly injured her leg, and the doctor said that her recovery would take months. Mom was devastated, and Nora kept herself shut in her room. I didn't dare go in because I knew she wouldn't see me. One evening, I just couldn't help crying in my room when suddenly I felt someone's arm around me. "Hey, why are you crying?" "Because Nora hates me, and she'll never forgive me. I wanted to hurt her, but I never wished for something bad to happen." "Of course you didn't. No one thinks that. Nora's just upset about her injury, and once she's better, she'll be fine with you, I promise." But he was wrong. Just a few days later, Mom called me into Nora's room for a talk. Nora's recovery could take up to a year. We cannot miss all the tournaments during this time. She has some modeling contracts too, and we can't lose this money. Someone from our family has to represent us, and that can only be you, Bella. "But Mom, I'm not half as good as Nora." "She's right about that. You've been riding a horse since you were a child, Bella. We have 3 months to train before the next match, and I believe you can do it. You have to do it." Before I could protest more, Mom left the room. "Good luck trying to be me. It's not as easy as it looks, and you don't have what it takes." Nora wasn't wrong about it being hard. The training was tough, and I had a sore butt for weeks. But 3 months later, when I competed in the tournament, I actually came in third. And suddenly, I was the newcomer everyone was noticing. Sure, people just called me Nora's sister at first, but as I kept doing well in matches, more of them knew my name. But I really wasn't looking forward to Nora's modeling contracts. I was awkward, and I didn't have star quality like Nora. After her styling team worked on me, though, I was stunned at the results. I'd never felt so beautiful, and clearly others thought so too. I was receiving a lot of attention on social media, and at school, I was being treated like a completely different person. This is how people saw Nora, and I had to admit, it felt good. "Wow, I'm gonna need an appointment soon to talk to you." "Yeah, but I'll always make time for you." "What do you think of my new look?" "There wasn't anything wrong with it before, but you do look lovely." For the first time, I felt like he wasn't seeing me as Nora's little sister, and it sent my heart racing. "Bella, I've been meaning to ask you something." Yeah?" "Do you think it's a good time to tell Nora I'm in love with her? I have been for years, but she's never been clear about her feelings, and I just need to know now." My heart suddenly sank. What was I thinking? Of course, you should tell her how you feel. She'd be a moron for not loving you back. Jeremy grinned and kissed me on the cheek and then walked off happily. A few days later, I came home to see Jeremy rushing out of our house, wiping tears on his sleeve. I was a fool to think Nora ever liked me. She said she's never seen me as more than a friend, and she never will. He stormed off, and I felt so mad at Nora for leading him on all this time. I didn't see her till later at dinner, and it looked like she'd been crying, but Mom looked really excited. Bella, I have such amazing news. You've been selected as one of the best newcomers to participate in a tournament in London. This will open international doors for you, darling. I knew it had always been Nora's dream to compete in Europe. As Mom went on and on, Nora suddenly swiped half the dishes off the table. It should have been me, but you've stolen everything from me. Nora, I only started competing because of you and Mom. Oh, shut up. You've always wanted everything I've had. Congratulations. Now you have it. That's not true. Oh, you wanted Jeremy too? I've seen how you look at him with your puppy eyes. It's embarrassing. Well, it looks like he and I aren't friends anymore, so you're welcome to have him too. That's enough. You know what, Nora? Maybe I did want to know what it felt like to be you, but I've realized that I'm just as talented and beautiful. You're just better at getting whatever you want without caring for anyone's feelings. You've misled Jeremy, and you've always made me feel small. And now I will go to London, and I won't feel bad about it because it has nothing to do with you. Only me and my talent. Jeremy didn't turn up to school the next few days, and then I found out that he'd left the city to stay with his real dad. For good. He hadn't even bothered to say goodbye. And a week later, I left for London. I won first prize in the
Make a perfect moment on pizza night. And remember, an Essenza is essential.
tournament, and it opened so many opportunities for me. Mom decided that I'd finish high school in London while I kept competing for more championships. I heard Nora was back to training, but she and I didn't talk anymore, and I was enjoying my new life away from her. A year later, I was at the subway station when I spotted someone from a distance who looked exactly like Jeremy. I pushed through the crowd and followed him as he climbed onto the train, and I managed to hop on just as the doors closed. He looked shocked to see me, and we both hugged and laughed. It turned out that he'd joined a university in London. I had no idea you were here too. Of course you didn't. You left without a word and never kept in touch. That was wrong, but I just needed to get away. I'm sorry, and I've missed you. Jeremy and I started hanging out really often over the next few months, and I was happy to have him back in my life, but I kept my feelings in check. I didn't want to fall for him again. On New Year's Eve, Jeremy invited me to a party at his friend's place, and we had the most amazing night dancing away. We all counted down to midnight, and he turned to me with a smile. Happy New Year, Bella. And then he kissed me, and the whole world just faded. But then I pulled away suddenly. I started to walk away. Bella, wait. Did I do something wrong? No, nothing. I just have to go. Please, stop. I've been wanting to tell you for a while now. I think I'm in love with you. Nora turned you down, so you thought you'd settle for me now? As a consolation prize? I've always been second best to Nora in everything, but not anymore. I refused to answer Jeremy's calls or texts the next few days. But then one evening, I got the most unexpected call from Nora. She said she was throwing Mom a big party for her birthday that weekend, and she wanted me to attend. Plus, you haven't even seen my new training school yet. What school? I gave up racing, Bella. My leg's not good enough anymore, but I decided I couldn't stay angry forever, and I had to find another dream. I train other riders on our ranch now. Anyway, I hope you come. I felt both sad and happy to hear that, and I decided it was time to go home and see her. 2 days later, as I was leaving with my bags, I bumped into Jeremy right outside my place. Before you say anything, please listen to me. Yes, I loved Nora for years, but being away from her made me realize that we weren't right for each other. We're better off as friends. And you're not second best to anyone, Bella. If you don't love me, I can accept that. But I just had to tell you how I feel. I love you. Jeremy, I love you too, you idiot. As he pulled me close, he suddenly noticed my luggage. Wait, where are you going? To see Nora. I need to fix things with her. I'm coming with you.
I was born in a super rich family who owned a chain of restaurants. We pretty much had everything you could imagine, except peace. My dad was a bad-tempered man who threw tantrums over the smallest things. Mom was soft-hearted and hardly ever spoke back. But my biggest problem was my bratty sister, Ariel, who was 2 years younger than me and 10 times worse than my dad. Once when I was 8, my parents took us to a wedding, and I was playing with my cousins when I spotted Ariel being mean to a little boy whose family was poor. She snatched his lollipop, and he started crying.
You can't eat that because you're ugly.
Ariel, give it back now!
No!
Just then, the boy's mom came and started shouting at Ariel, who went screaming to Dad and complained to him. And of course, he defended her. How dare you yell at my daughter? She's saying the lollipop is hers, and she would never steal from anyone. But Dad, I was right here. I saw her. Ian, this is your sister, and you should be on her side, not this poor boy's. Dad and Ariel were like two peas in a pod, and it was no wonder that he loved her more than me, and she always found a way to get me into trouble. Like in the 5th grade, when Ariel joined my school, my parents asked me to look out for her on her first day, and I did exactly that. But as we were waiting for our car to pick us up, I suddenly turned around and saw she was gone. I looked for her everywhere in the school, but I couldn't find her. Feeling panicked, I had a school teacher call my parents, and soon after they arrived, Ariel came running from somewhere and flew into my dad's arms.
Mommy, Daddy! Ian locked me in the storeroom. I was so scared.
I was stunned at how wicked she was. What? No, I didn't. Stop lying, Ariel! She cried even louder, and Dad started yelling at me, but thankfully, Mom took my side.
Calm down, Steve. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Ariel is only 7 years old. I don't think she knows how to lie yet. It's him! I was grounded for a whole month because of the stunt my sister pulled. She grew up to be the same wicked witch, and I became quiet and withdrawn from my family. I focused on doing well at school, and since I loved computers, I spent a lot of time teaching myself about them. I always thought I was a nerd, so I was surprised when I started getting attention from girls in the 10th grade. Even Ariel's friends were always staring at me and giggling, which was kinda creepy. One evening when I was studying for a big test, Ariel had some friends over, and they were playing music so loudly that I could hardly focus. I decided to go for a run, but just as I was changing my shirt, a girl flung open the door and stood staring at me.
Oops, I thought this was the bathroom.
You've been to our house before, and wouldn't you still knock?
You're so funny.
She giggled for no reason, and then Ariel came up behind her, grinning.
Where are you off to?
Running away, because you girls are so noisy.
We'll be quiet, only if you agree to date my friend here.
What? I'm not doing that. I'm sure she's just like you. I ran away from there as fast as I could, but when I returned, I found Ariel crying in my room. Such a drama queen. Why can't you cry in your own room?
My best friend has been so depressed since her parents got divorced, and she's always crying and sniffling, and it's so annoying. Ugh, her puffy eyes are so ugly. I can't be seen with her, so please date her and cheer her up. Just once.
I reluctantly agreed.
Who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
Just so they'd both leave me alone after that. So the next day after school, I said I'd meet her friend at a nearby milkshake shop, and when I got there, Ariel was also with her. Weirdest date ever. We ordered our drinks, and then this girl who was in my history class, called Elsa, came with our milkshakes. Ariel took one sip of her drink and spat it out.
Ew, I said bubblegum milkshake, not strawberry. You must be extra stupid for getting it wrong.
And then she threw the glass on the floor and told Elsa to clean it up. Have you lost your mind? You can't treat people like this.
Dad is so right about you. Being a softie will get you nowhere, brother. And you, stupid girl, don't just stand there. Get me a new milkshake.
You're pathetic. I ran after Elsa to check if she was okay, and I found her crying in the back alley. I'm so sorry about my sister. She's a real piece of work.
Yeah, it's not the first time she's done this.
But you shouldn't allow her to bully you like this.
I have no choice. My boss says customers come first, and I can't afford to lose this job. It pays my school fees.
I didn't know much about Elsa, because she always hid her face behind her long hair and never spoke in class. And because of what my sister did, I offered to buy her lunch at school. When I sat with her in the cafeteria the next day, the entire school had their eyes on us, because this was the first time I was seen with some girl. While we talked, she kept looking down, and suddenly I lifted her chin up gently and pushed her hair behind her ears. I was amazed at how beautiful she was. Wow, you're lovely. You shouldn't hide your face like that.
Thank you. You're the first person here who's been this nice to me. But I think people are looking at you, wondering why some rich and handsome guy like you is sitting with a waitress.
I couldn't care less about what they're thinking, but they're probably all looking at you. I started hanging out with her every day and found myself falling for her fast. I like how Elsa was gentle and soft-spoken, but she also had a fun, quirky side that was adorable. But one evening when I got home, Dad was waiting for me in the living room with Ariel by his side. Your sister tells me you're dating some poor girl. Is this true? Ariel is crazy. How do you judge a person without even knowing where they're from?
Because she's a waitress, stupid.
You're stupid because you keep poking your nose in my business. Just then, Mom walked in after some errands, and Dad told her to make him tea. Mom just walked into the house and you're already giving her orders?
It's okay, Ian. I don't mind.
No, Mom, it's not okay. These two are always bullying us around. And now they're telling me who I can and can't date?
That's because this girl he likes is a gold digger.
I'm not letting you embarrass us by being with some beggar. What will people think? That sounds like your problem, because I don't care. And guess what? She's coming over for dinner this weekend, and you will be nice to her. If you don't agree, Dad, I will drop out of school and move out. And you can find another son to help you with the business. Dad knew that I was smarter than his precious daughter, and he needed me to take over his business one day. So he had no choice but to give in. The next day when I invited Elsa over, she looked gorgeous and really nervous.
I'm so scared to meet your parents.
Don't worry, you'll be just fine. They'll love you. Mom did seem to, but Dad and Ariel glared at her. So, Ella, is it?
Elsa, sir.
What do your parents do?
I don't have parents. I live with my grandmother and I take care of her. So basically, you're poor.
Ariel, that's very rude. I kicked my sister under the table, and she cried out angrily and stormed out of the room. Sometime later, Elsa excused herself to go to the bathroom, and Mom told her it was upstairs. She was gone for a while, so I decided to check on her, and I stopped short when I found her in my parents' room, opening Mom's jewelry box. Elsa, what are you doing here?
Ian, you startled me. And, oh, this isn't what it looks like. I promise. Your sister came out of your parents' bedroom, shoved this diamond ring in my hand, and told me to leave. She ran off before I could say anything, so I just came here to put it back. I don't know what's going on. Liar!
We turned around to see Ariel in the doorway.
She's lying. I never gave her the ring. Mom! Dad! We have a thief in the house!
Shut up, Ariel! But the two had already come up running, and Elsa looked scared out of her wits.
Check her bag. I'm telling you, she's a thief.
Ariel suddenly snatched Elsa's bag, and as it fell to the ground, a lot of Mom's jewelry fell out. I didn't know what to think. Get out of our house before we call the police. Elsa ran out crying, and I was too shocked to even run after her. If she needed money so badly, she could have asked me for help. There had to be some reason she felt she had to steal, but I never saw her again. She just didn't come to school after that. And when I asked the school admin, they told me she transferred to another school. Ariel and her friend were over the moon.
My friend is still available if you want to date her.
No, thank you. And you should focus on school. Your math teacher spoke to me today and told me you're failing badly.
Oh, I'm the most beautiful girl in this school. And I don't think I'm going to use math in my modeling career.
Ariel did fail high school, and for the first time, Dad was so disappointed in her. She couldn't get a job anywhere, not even as a model. So she ended up working as a waitress in one of Dad's restaurants, where I was the manager. I had so much fun bossing her around. Ariel, the customers are waiting.
Well, do something about it.
I'm the manager. Go see to the customers now.
Daddy, Ian's being mean to me.
He's just doing his job, so please do yours. I'm already doing you a favor because you're not a very good waitress. Ariel looked ready to explode, and suddenly, she threw her tray at the wall.
Oh, so Ian's your favorite child now? Dad, how about we tell him about the time you plotted with me to get rid of his girlfriend, Elsa?
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. Dad asked me to slip Mom's jewelry into Elsa's bag. Duh. And he also found out where she lived and gave her grandmother money to take Elsa to another school.
I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at Dad for answers, but he didn't show an ounce of guilt. Yeah, so? I only did it for you, Ian. There are plenty of girls out there.
Color is expression. Color is love.
And I didn't want you to be trapped by a poor one. I quit my job that very moment. And before I moved out of the house, Mom gave me a check for a huge amount of money. Ian, I've been saving up money secretly for years. And I want you to have this. Use it wisely, son. Mom, thank you so much. And you're coming with me. Sweetheart, I have more money saved. And now that you kids are old enough, I'm leaving your father and moving to Bali. It's time I lived my life. I'm so happy for you, Mom. I used the money to start my own IT company, which became very successful over the years. The only thing missing in my life was love. Then one day at the grocery store, I was standing in line at the counter when I spotted a black-haired girl ahead of me. It was Elsa. The cashier was telling her that her card wasn't working, and she looked really bothered. How much is it? I'll pay. Elsa turned around and stared at me in shock, and then she looked mad.
No need. I'll come and buy these things later.
She left her grocery cart and walked off quickly, and I followed. Elsa, please